Hello, Mr. Chris Stiles.
Hello, Bart.
Hey, we're here for the USA Drone Port. Want to give a short update on some things that we're working on right now. We're always busy and we're bad about giving updates. We don't slow down really enough to take the time to do it, but we were creating videos for classes and other things that we've been working on today and thought it would be a really good time to do that. So um, one of the big things that we've been working on, some of you all have seen it probably in the press over the past couple, 3 months, has been the Jericho project. We actually started working on the Jericho project about mid-March. The idea started being circulated. We had several people on the phone. It was a trying time because COVID had really just astonished everybody to the extent of what our life's changes were going to be. And the Jericho project kind of fit into how we could use drones for package delivery. Not drones like large commercial, multi-million dollar organizational drones, but drones that you get from Walmart, from Best Buy, etc. So as conversation increased, we realized that we probably weren't going to get funding, a large federal funding, which we had talked about and applied for. So we realized this was going to be more of a grassroots thing. And we had some partners that liked what we were doing. One of our friends suggested uh, these partnerships. You want to tell them a little about that, Chris?
Yeah, we've got a couple that have come on board with us in varying capacities. Our biggest one right now, we're working with University of Kentucky, and that's been a big push for what we've been doing behind the scenes. Uh, as you guys have probably seen on some of our social media, we've put links from some of the news that we've received from that program. It's an ongoing series of test flights. We've been doing other test flights on the side that go parallel with this push. And the Project Jericho, as we called it, has been the overall program name that we're kind of doing for all of this package delivery stuff for medical purposes. Obviously, package delivery as a concept, it's been out for a while. It's been well tested, especially in the consumer arena and in urban environments, but not so much in rural and Appalachia, especially. So, rural mountainous terrains, there's not been a lot of testing in any kind of delivery methodologies, and but more specifically in the medical aspect. So when COVID came around, we saw this real big need in this niche to fulfill doing PPE or test kits or vaccinations, medicines, and so that's how we built this program up. We partnered with University of Kentucky. They were early on very interested in this as a test case for them to do some testing in some of their rural health network. And so we've got a couple of healthcare providers that are with them that have a series of patients that we've lined up to do these deliveries under varying conditions and circumstances. And so we started off, walk or crawl, walk, run methodology, and we're kind of at the walking right now. We've crawled, we've done some of the base establishing tests and flight stuff, and now we're walking it out. We're increasing our capabilities, testing out certain things. We've partnered with the FAA, so we're giving FAA a lot of the data and the information that we're generating, so they've got visibility on it, and we're going to be pushing certain things that beyond the envelope of what you normally be able to fly under Part 107 or you have to require a COA. And because a lot of these cases, you need to fly beyond line of sight, you need to be able to fly at night. There's different things that you're going to have to do that go outside the current boundaries of Part 107 operations to be able to really have medical deliveries that you would be able to do in a normal use case.
Yeah, and University of Kentucky have made wonderful partners too. They've worked with us very well. The healthcare providers have been trained on how to be active visual observers, have had about 10 hours training, and now will be in our third and fourth flights here very soon. And they're literally helping us bring those drones in and the deliveries to do it. So, as Chris said, we've started out very rudimentary with this because of multiple reasons, but one of them in particular is we've tried to keep this on an affordable scale, so this is something that can be expanded down the road too. So we've not put, at this point, exceptionally expensive delivery devices on the drones. We kept it relatively rudimentary, simple, very cost efficient, things that people in any community can do to their drones and do it safely and afford to do it. $10 will buy what you need to do to set the drone up with the package deliveries we've been doing so far. It's not high tech, but what we are doing is something that is high tech and has not been done. Give you an example. In March, when we started looking at this, I came back from a meeting out of state, and COVID really had changed during that time I was gone. It was from a very bustling element to nobody anywhere, almost apocalyptic, post-apocalyptic, and it's really kind of freaky. And when I got back here in Hazard, we actually had power outages that were, some people were out for 2 weeks. I mean, it's in March too. It's not a warm time of the year. There's people that had issues. And you had snow, you had ice, you had floods that happened during that time, and all this stuff on top of COVID. So this got us thinking, with these floods, how are we going to get insulin to people that have to have it? How are we going to get batteries for oxygen tanks to these people across these swollen rivers? And when you can't even drive there, there's not even roads cleared off to get there at this point. So that raised a lot of frustration, particularly with us and a lot of the people we work with. It was like, we have the ability to do this now. We have these aircraft that can literally pick these up and take them there. We don't have the authorization to do this. And we live in the mountains, and we can't fly from here over that mountain and deliver it to that person, which may be less than a mile away or a mile and a half. And the drone's very capable of doing it, but we're not allowed to legally. So we're working directly with the FAA to say, here are some of our issues. We're in a very rural area, and we feel like we can do this safely. Even if a drone has a problem, it's not going to harm anybody, and we can learn from this and figure out how to expand this out. They've been very generous with their time, with their work with us to provide help on this. And then I want to go to the University of Kentucky. Mr. Robert Donnan, a friend of ours, has worked with the drone port uh, from nearly the beginning. He is also on one of the advisory boards for the University of Kentucky Rural Health Center of Excellence here in Hazard, and he sees what we're doing, he listens, and he's got the ability to formulate, hey, these people are doing this and you all are doing this. Y'all need to talk to each other. And he set up the initial appointment with Fran Feltner and Beth Woods and several of the other folks with the University of Kentucky, and we've worked with several of them now. So this has been an opportunity for us to say, hey, we understand drones and what we can do, but we don't understand the medical world so much. Because wouldn't it be awesome if eventually we had secure communications with these drones where we could keep HIPAA material secure, and we could actually deliver medication like vaccinations, deliver medication like insulin and other things that need to be delivered. So with them understanding what has to happen from that end, working with us on the potential of how this can work on our side, it's been really good. Um, it has been crawl, walk, run, and hopefully will be crawl, walk, run, fly, and be able to extend this beyond visual line of sight, be able to do this in a manner that's going to be really helpful in Eastern Kentucky, in Appalachia, and potentially much broader than that. So it makes us feel really good to have the drone port being a part of it. With that, We'll transition into another part that's been great. Our friends with the AML Abandoned Mine Lands have been partnering with us for about 2 years, and this is not a fast-moving process, but to do this right, it really can't be. So we're at a point now with AML where we've received $1.5 million uh, to build a part of our campus, to build a building, which we had hoped initially would be two buildings, and that it would be a little bit bigger than what it is now. COVID has, as anybody who's done any repairs or anything during COVID knows, that the price of a board is much more expensive than it was in December last year. Two, three, four times more for parts. So guess what that does to the cost of our build? We've had to look at it serious and say, this is the most important part of this. This is what's going to help us in this area, because we are essentially spending a quarter to a half as much as we initially had. Um, we're still excited about what we're going to be able to do with the project. Um, Another thing that's happened, CRAD, Perry County Fiscal Court, and Knott County Fiscal Court have been really helpful in getting uh, the utilities to the drone port, and they're currently doing that. That was a combined effort with AML and ARC to get sewer and water to the drone port. That was 1.25 million total combined grants. So you have 2.75 in that vicinity money being spent right now to bring the potential of new industry, of testing, of research, of education, of giving something to our kids to be able to use here to better their likelihood of having high paying jobs in this area. So our friends with AML, ARC, CRAD, Perry County Fiscal Court, the board members of the USA Drone Port, and our friends at University of Kentucky and many other places, Embry-Riddle University, who's paired with HCTC for the classes, and we never want to forget the Hazard Community and Technical College, who is providing high education here, who is with the FAA CTI program, which means that we were one of the very first ones to be federally recognized as a program, and we're training people through that. So I've rambled on. Chris, let you jump in on any of that part or anything else that you want to.
Yeah. So as Bart kind of mentioned in the beginning, we've been kind of quiet. We get busy with doing this stuff. We've had a lot of planning in the background behind the scenes that isn't been visible. Planning for the construction of the building. We've got the designs pretty much nailed down now, and we're looking at submitting those and probably breaking ground sometime over the summer. So obviously we'll be giving more updates more frequently once that happens. We've got stuff to show off, for the construction at the site. But we believe it's going to be a really great building for what we can build with the $1.5 million, and we want to make it as best as we can to work for the community and bring those jobs and bring other companies here working and doing testing and training at the facility. And we've also been working behind the scenes on other training programs. A big proportion of what the Drone Port does is training for first responders. We weren't able to do that last year because of COVID, so look to have dates announced later this summer, maybe early fall, for doing some training iterations now that vaccines are going to be out. And we've got some things that we've been planning that look like they're going to be very unique and either never been done before or hasn't been done very often with some of these training scenarios that we want to run for certain first responders and law enforcement or search and rescue or firefighters. And those will also incorporate the community here. And we're excited. We can't quite announce those things just yet, but we're getting very excited about some of those prospects.
Yeah, another thing too, I mentioned the work with HCTC and the classes and all that. It's at a point too where these classes, some of our students are beginning to get through a year of the classes and getting to a point where they understand what's happening. And I hope to see them with their innovative ideas, with their entrepreneurial spirits, begin building things in this locale, to see this grow. We've also been marketing this nationwide and worldwide over the past 3 years, and hope with what we're building on that campus that it'll be attractive to people to bring businesses in, or to at least bring the testing and research, some of the education and things like that to this location. Another thing we'd like to see happen, we've talked quite a lot about STEM education, and it's going to be a really good thing for us and for uh, the kids in grade school, middle school, and high school, particularly uh, in the next over the next year, year and a half, as our equipment and buildings come online. Um, we'll be able to do STEM education and provide stuff for our kids in this region in Appalachia that they're not getting other places, that they're going to get hands-on ability to utilize the equipment, to test, to learn, to be in environments that are offered that just aren't available in a lot of other places. And we're going to invite our friends from all over the nation to come here and utilize that. But we want our folks here to know that it's available, and that, this is we are a nonprofit. We are a place that's trying, that are here on our goodwill and our endeavors to bring business education and stuff to this area.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good wrap up for what we've got right now. Obviously, we've got a lot of things that we've been working on, things that kind of build up to get ready for the facilities to be open. So a lot of the administrative side has just been on in the background working and getting these things lined up, like 501c3 status. We're getting ready to put that in, get that applied, and that'd be great for the drone port, so that we can operate under that status as well.
Yeah. So we'll try to keep you up to date as it goes. We're like I said, it's one of the things that we're not really good about. We rarely slow down to talk about this, but we thank you for your support. We thank you for the continued efforts with the community and with our friends in the UAS community too, that work with us on a daily basis, and that worked in such kind regard. So with that, we will close out, but we'll bring another update to you soon. Thanks.